My friends, we need a living relationship with the Spirit of God. A living relationship which we understand, because this relationship is just like many other relationships we have had with other humans, with other things. You see, where we've talked to them, they talk back, they listen, and they speak, they act. You see, like a relationship with your parent, a relationship with your child, a loved one. This is why, many times even Jesus himself said, if a parent knows how to give its child good gifts, then how much more God, and many other living examples. He says, look at the, how human beings interact. He always used in his parables and explanations. He gave people things that they had a relationship with. Sowing a seed in the ground, trees, growing trees, and many of these other kinds of examples. See, because people had a relationship with such things. They planted in the ground. They lived that kind of life. You see, so he was using that to symbolize, to say this is also symbolic of how you should have a relationship with the Spirit of God. This is what God always wanted, is to be a father. You see, to live in the hearts and minds and inside, within humans. You see, but the problem with most humans is that they want other things inside the intimate places of their heart and their inner man, inner being. You see, they want other things which they consider more important. You see, the world tells you you are something, you have to do this and you have to do that, and you are God. The destiny is in your hands. The dreams are all the dreams, what you want and what you think. You see, you have all the power, and they deceive you, and they make you think that you're in charge, you're in control of your own destiny. You see, and these ideas, we begin to act on these ideas, we begin to think deeply on these ideas. We're indoctrinated into these ideas all throughout our life. Even Paul, if I remember correctly, if it was Paul who said, separated me from my mother's womb. You see, what does that mean, my friends? You see, it means that, you see, there is something far greater than all these things, and what that thing wants is for us to have an intimate relationship with it. See, a relationship where we carry him everywhere we go, in everything that we do. Because when we carry him in everything that we do, he'll have ideas on everything that we do, and he will communicate those ideas to us about everything that we do, everything that we are in, all the paths of our life, all the paths that our feet walk, all the thoughts that our minds think, all the desires and intentions, motives, and understanding that is within our heart. He will know all these things. He already knows all things. You see, but he will be a part and parcel of all these things now. We will make the living God, the Spirit of God, a part and parcel of who we are internally. You see, and we learn to overcome and circumcise our heart. We learn to overcome the evil, the lower nature. You see, when people look at human beings, there is both a penchant to do good and to do evil. You see, we have to overcome the flesh. You see, nature, which is temporary. You see, and make everything the way God wants it to be, which is in submission to His Spirit. You see, so when His Spirit comes in, we have to submit ourselves to Him. You see, that's what most people don't want. Most people want to leave God inside a box. They want to leave Him inside a book. They want to leave Him over there somewhere, and then they can go back there in their own convenience. And then in the meantime, they can, dance to other tunes. You see, in quotations. Listen to other voices, in quotations. Be like the nations of the world. Enjoy their strengths and their powers. And the thing with it is that they fill their heart up with these things. See, people fill their hearts up with these things. And then when those things become confounded, then what you have is people who call themselves God's people, but they're only God's people on the outer shell. You see, internally they're just like the people of the world, and worse in many cases. You see, so what happens is when the consequences come to the world, they will also suffer those consequences. And then they will say, "Oh Lord, what happened?" You see, what happened is this, is that in your heart you never made an abode for the Spirit of God, and never understood that His abode for you in the kingdom of heaven. You see, Jesus went to prepare a place for us. So we need to inherit that place, but instead we want to inherit the kingdoms of this world, the nations of this world, the identities of this world. You see? So this is the whole problem, my friends. And the other problem is that we human beings, we are very temporary, we are very weak, but we are told we are strong. You see, we think we have power because we have internet, you have a gun, you have your fist, someone will tell you how to fight, someone will tell you how powerful your mind is, you can heal your body, you can do this and do that. But at the end of it, my friends, we human beings are really, we are very powerless. You see, we don't even know where these things are coming from. If something was to happen to somebody that I care about in another corner of the world, there is nothing I can do. You know, when I used to get involved in physical fighting, these are what you can fight one, you can fight two, three, four, maybe if you know. But at the end of it, if the numbers increase, there's nothing you can do. You're just gonna have to fight, knowing it's a losing battle. You see, unless there's something else with me. You see, so there's only so much you can do. If somebody gets sick, what am I going to do? How much power? I can give all the good intentions in the world and tell them, hey, you gotta fight, you're gonna do this, and everything is gonna. But at the end of it, my friends, we have no power. If someone you love is driving in a car somewhere, they're not with you. You see? What power do you have if there's some kind of road accident or something like this? What are we going to do? If there's an earthquake, what are we going to do? You see? If the plane is falling and we're in the plane, what are we going to do? You see, if we're in a dilemma in life, everything has failed, what are we going to do? Why does it? You see, these are the things, my friends. See, I have been confounded many times in my life, from the trivial small things to the epic and big things in my life, to where it's life and death. You see, I've been on the point of death. See, I've had things done to me where I realized that anything can happen, and it's not me who's in charge, but there's another one who is in charge. You see, but most human beings, they've never had this happen to them, and they never lived a real life. You see, where you actually want to go and do something. You see, they've never had real experiences, and it's not within them. You see, it has to be within you. For something to be within you, my friends, you need to go through things. You see, you need to go through many different things, and then it starts being birthed within you. It is birthed within you through pain and hardship many times, because most of us human beings, my friends, we don't choose God on our own strength. When things are good, when things are comfortable, my friends, we'll end up choosing the world. We'll end up choosing all the luxuries. We want to be up there on top and live a life where where God will just become something very, very secondary, a nice idea. You see, something you put on a painting maybe, but in your heart, you trusting in the might of your own hands. You see, and so many times God confounds us. You see, and puts us through things where we have no power, no strength, where we're at the crossroads, where we don't think, we wonder, there's no hope in the world. You see, people will say, oh, blood is thicker than water. I've seen many times physical families, they can become the greatest rivals, the greatest enemies. You see, How does that happen, my friends? It happens because human love is finite. It's selfish. You see, it's very easy to turn human love into hate. You see, many people don't realize, oh, I don't understand why that person over there is like that, why they're like that. You don't realize that if you live the life that they live, you probably would be like that, or maybe even 20 times worse. You see, if your mother was a drug dealer, if your grandparents were drug dealers, and you grew up in that kind of life, you wouldn't be the way you are today. You see, so these situations and circumstances, I've been in many of these situations and circumstances where I realized that I'm nothing. You see, it's the mercy of God that has saved me from myself. See, God saves us from our own flesh, you see, and gives us the strength to overcome the flesh, which is what Jesus Christ did. He overcame the flesh, the sin nature, you see, to trust in your own hands, to trust in your own ways, to trust in your own devices, to trust in living by bread alone, to trust in living enslaved to the nations of this world. Many times they said that Jesus was breaking the laws of Caesar, you see, because he was a king. He's a king, you see. Even Herod in the time went to find out who this king is because he was threatened. See, his physical existence was. He thought that this man came to bring a physical kingdom, rebellions and all these other kind of things. He's going to overthrow him, things like that. These are all carnal thoughts, you see, because human wisdom and human strength is all based in this life. You know, punching somebody in the face, then all of a sudden, that person now, they fear you. You see, or you show them the might of your hands. You get them fired because you're a big shot. You threaten them. You send some goons their way. And you tell them, hey, if you decide to open your mouth again, this is what's going to happen to you. But then on the surface, you appear to be so nice. Hey, because your peace is derived from coercion, it's derived from force, it's derived from manipulation, it's derived from exploiting this whole earth. You see? And when you become so mighty and powerful, it corrupts you. You see? It corrupts you. You see, so my friends, at the end of it, the Spirit of God is what we need to have a relationship with, to overcome all these things, from all these different natures that exist. You see, to overcome them, to overcome all our insecurities and fears, all the things that where we can't do anything. We are not omnipotent, we are not omniscient, we don't know everything. You see, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't have power to save somebody who's living even 5 miles away from us. You see, when we are sleeping, we have no power. You see, but when we trust in the Spirit of God, my friends, we have all the things we need to make it through this life and all the things that we have to go through. We have to submit ourselves to the Spirit of God more and more until we are completely bond slaves, completely sold out, completely consumed by the Spirit of God. See, that is when we become completely a testimony. You see, we have to become a testimony of Jesus Christ in this world, what He wants, the book that He wrote for our destiny. We need to receive those words. Every single thing that we go through, whether it is a snake on the way, you meet up with that snake and it's going to bite you, you say, Lord, help. You see, these are the things. It's not written down in the scripture. It's not written down your name, whether you're found, with God, whether Jesus knows you. That only comes from a relationship, my friends. You see, that's just a stepping stone towards having a relationship where everything that we do, maybe the door is going to smash, or maybe a bullet is going to fly through the door. It's only the Spirit of God that will quicken you to save you if you have a relationship. You see? So we need this living relationship, because we are very small, my friends. We don't have the power that the world is indoctrinating us to believe, lying to us. So my friends, follow after the Spirit of God. Follow after Him. Get to know Him. Live in Him and abide in Him Go close to him and he will get close to you, my friends, and be known by him